welcome back to my channel, you beautiful, beautiful people who I love and adore so much. If I could hug you all, I would. But you know, knowing some people would think that was inappropriate. Next thing you know, I'm getting restraining orders. I cannot afford legal things, okay? I just can't. Anyway, today I am really excited to be doing this review. I had been looking forward to watching the first episode of A Discovery of Witches by now. I have watched the first 3 episodes by the time that I am putting this up, and all I can say is yes! Yes! So, anyway, one thing that I want to quickly say, because I originally did my review right after I watched the first episode. Since then I have seen a little bit more, and one of the things that I would like to say is that, and I put this on Twitter, that and I just want to say it now because I didn't include it in my original review and I don't want to forget, and that's that I am loving the locations that they are using for this show. It makes it feel like the show had a much higher budget than it did, so it's making it feel a bit more grander. I don't know, apparently I don't know proper English. Anyway, also one of the things is just that it's also addressing some really important issues. It's addressing racism and prejudice, but in the setting of magic and supernatural and all these creatures. So you're definitely dealing with very modern and politically relevant topics of things that are going on right now, and it's inserting them into a very organic way. So everything that it is doing, such as like I just said, politically relevant issues, or having characters of color, or even just the inclusion of LGBT characters, it's doing all these things, and it's doing it so organically. It's just, and I'll explain that more later, but one of the things I want to point out is that it just seems to be doing everything that the Charmed reboot is claiming to do, only this is doing it the right way, and it's not boasting about it or trying to make a big thing of it like, hey, look what we're doing. It's just doing it, and it's doing it really well. And you know, I think other shows should take note that this is how you do things. Anyway, so let's get into the full review of the pilot episode of A Discovery of Witches. A Discovery of Witches is a British television series based on the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness and is named after the first book in the series. The first episode of the season is simply titled Episode 1 and is directed by Juan Carlos Medina and written by Kate Brooke. In this episode, things get creepy for historian and closet witch Diana Bishop when she calls up a magical manuscript. Her discovery is about to throw her back into the world of magic and into the path of Matthew Claremont, a centuries-old vampire. When I first heard the title of this show mentioned on social media back in May, my ears immediately pricked up at the word witches. I didn't know what this title referred to. Was it a movie, a book, a show? But I do love anything witch related, so I did a quick search and learned what it was, and immediately I was intrigued, but apprehensive. In recent years, I've been very disappointed by television shows centered around witches. Shows such as The Secret Circle and Witches of East End proved to be huge disappointments made evident by their very early cancellations. Last witch-centered show I enjoyed was Salem, and that sadly only ran for 3 seasons by choice. The upcoming show left my mind until during the ghastly marketing for the new Charmed reboot, I was reminded that another witch show was coming our way. By this point, we were in July, and it so happened a trailer had already been released, and I was quick to jump on it. The trailer didn't reveal too much, but enough for me to want to give it a go. It looked different and seemed to have a story that didn't appear recycled, which is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. So I marked my calendar, and then the lucky day finally came. I have finally seen the first episode, and it is with genuine excitement I declare that I will be tuning in regularly to watch this show because I positively loved the first episode. Now, I'm not saying it's the most amazing show on the planet, certainly not, but everything I took from the first episode was everything I could have wanted in a pilot. In the first episode, we meet female lead Diana Bishop, played by Teresa Palmer. Immediately, we are made aware that this character has abilities. This is because she is a witch. This information revealed in casual conversation, which tells us she has known this her whole life because being a witch for her is no different than having blonde hair. Both are part of who she is and both are hereditary. More than that, we learn she is a successful academic, publishing 2 successful books on the subject of alchemy, which she seems to have a deep passion for. Safe to say this young woman is highly intelligent. But more is lurking beneath the surface. We learn her parents, also witches, have died, and it would appear as a result of this she has turned her back on her heritage. What I like about this is that from here on, the growth we can expect from the character is not so much about her learning to understand her abilities, but more learning to accept them. It's not physical growth that she requires, but emotional growth, and that is far more interesting and less typical. In many supernatural shows, we see the character in the first episode coming into their powers and learning what they are and going from there. In this case, we are way past that. So instead, we get to focus on understanding her world better and why she wants no part of it. So far, I'm intrigued by the character's story and Palmer's performance. She plays Diana as intelligent, friendly, curious, and apprehensive. When the subject of her academic prowess arises, she is confident and focused, but when the matter of magic occurs, she is nervous, guarded, and ready to bolt without a minute's notice. All of these qualities make me very interested in seeing where her character is going. Equally intriguing is our vampire, Matthew Claremont, played by Matthew Good, an intelligent academic as well. He is a professor of biochemistry. He appears calm and collected, dedicated to his work and maintaining a sense of order among his kind. He also is driven, seeking to understand the origins of his kind. But by the end of the episode, we learn there is another side, a darker, more primal side. Perhaps he appears calm and collected because he is trying to control something more wild and dangerous that can be found in his vampiric nature. I think Matthew portrays this very well. We can see the two characters have an instant wariness of each other while slowly growing a mild fascination. Matthew has represented his character very well and made him very interesting, so it'll be great to see what different sides of the character's personality we will learn. It's established that neither species are fond of each other and each follows a strict set of rules. There is order created by the rules they are governed by and follow without question, as it seems. They appear quite similar, hide their true selves from humans, and lead day-to-day lives and answer to officials. But it looks as though not everything is as it seems. While it's hard to say who is good and who is bad, so far one particular witch looks to have questionable motives, and so far I don't get a good vibe from him. One may even speculate Diana has more to her than even she knows, which means a lot to be revealed as the show goes on. Aesthetically, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. The last witch show set in England that I loved was Hex, and while they are set in the same part of the world, they don't look at all alike. A Discovery of Witches comes across as combining a classic tone in a modern setting, where Hex was more modern gothic. So far, nothing about this show seems reminiscent of other shows that I have seen, so to me it is looking fresh and new, which adds to my excitement. While the occasional nod is great, sometimes I would much rather invest in something new, and that's precisely what I'm getting from this. The first episode has told me plenty as a viewer to pull me in, but left me with enough questions and the right questions to keep me coming back. What more could I possibly want? Our two main leads have an interesting chemistry, and I find this to be because I see them as quite similar. Academics suppressing their true natures for entirely different reasons, but this commonality will open the door for more interactions between the two characters. The magic itself seems surprisingly organic. For vampires, there is nothing flashy, no CGI speed, no veins in the eyes, no increase in sharp teeth as far as I know, just small things to indicate what they are. The drinking of blood, the giving of blood, and appearing and disappearing from scenes in the blink of an eye, along with sound techniques to indicate enhanced hearing. The same can be said for the witches. The magic does not have heavy amounts of CGI. They blend into the scenes naturally and have a natural feel to them. Witches have always been associated with Mother Nature, and while I'm not sure if these witches are, I would describe the magic I'm seeing so far as echoing that same nature. We have a coven and the mention of an equinox, all things that are traditionally witchy, so the natural approach makes it all the more fascinating. Sometimes too much CGI can become more of a joke and make it look fake and less authentic. Another thing I feel like mentioning is how organically the TV show introduced a lesbian couple. Diana has an aunt, played by Alex Kingston, who is also a witch, and she lives with her partner, who's played by Valerie Pettiford. Not once did they have to tell the audience they were lesbians or even that they were witches. They just had them behave normally, which is what I have been dying to see in so many shows. Not to mention, I never once saw the show boasting or promoting this to gain an audience. It referred to the characters as Diana's aunts and nothing more. You can't get more natural than that. It's not treating these characters like sideshow freaks, it's treating them like real people just the same as everyone else. And that is exactly how these characters should be introduced. It was normal and I was thrilled. I appreciate the show doing this in this way and not making a big deal about it. It's 2018. If you're making that much noise about a lesbian, then what you're saying is they aren't normal. To just do it without going on about it is a step in the right direction. Also great to learn that the season will see the work of 3 directors and 2 of them will be women, Sarah Walker and Alice Troughton. Troughton? Whatever. I love how this show is approaching all of its characters. They're people first. It is showing us who they are as people and then going, by the way, this person is a witch. It tells me that while the show is rooted in the supernatural, it is essential to tell the human stories first and show how they will impact the magical stories and vice versa. It's the perfect approach and I am enthusiastic to see where we go from here. With the next episode just around the corner, I am itching to watch it. While I'm sad the first season is only listed as having 8 episodes, I am hoping either this season will be extended unless they just naturally planned for 8, or at least I hope that we will get a second season because so far I am loving what I'm seeing and even better, the potential is endless. So, I think I have boasted enough about A Discovery of Witches, which in case you didn't get the memo from everything I said, it's so good! So many witch shows are coming, airing in October, have started in September, some I'm like, about, and others I'm like, about, which, again, that's the nature of shows, some you're gonna like, some you're not gonna like, but either way, this one, looking really good. It's what I've been wanting. It's what I've been wanting for ages, so I'm super excited. It's already becoming one of those shows where I'm like, is it there? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Oh my god, it's time to watch it. And then as soon as I have it, I'm like, oh my god, it's time to watch it. I'm so excited. So yeah, I don't know, is my excitement that noticeable? Is my excitement showing? Anyway, enough of me raving. If you have watched the first episode or any of the episodes, or you're at least interested in watching it, then please comment down below, share your thoughts. I am intrigued to hear from the masses, and for the time being, I'm going to skidoo, and I will catch you in the next video. So until next time, bye.
Mm-hmm.